Have you ever felt like you've been doing everything right, visualizing, affirming, meditating, and yet nothing, no money, no love, no real change? And slowly, a quiet question starts to creep in. What if this manifestation stuff just doesn't work? But what if the real reason it's not working has nothing to do with how much you believe, and everything to do with something hidden, something buried deep in your subconscious that's been silently blocking you the entire time without you even knowing it? Let's talk about the secret sabotage that no one in the manifestation world wants to admit and how to finally break free. Most people get trapped in a cycle. They hear about the law of attraction, about how thoughts create reality, and they get excited. They start visualizing their dream life every morning, repeating affirmations in the mirror, scripting their perfect future. For a little while, they feel good, hopeful, energized. But soon, when the outer reality doesn't shift fast enough, frustration creeps in, doubt follows, and before long, their practice becomes mechanical, desperate, even anxious. This is the point where most people unknowingly fall into the biggest manifestation mistake there is: attachment to the outcome. You see, manifestation isn't about forcing reality to obey your will. It's not about trying harder, visualizing longer, or pretending to be positive every minute of the day. It's about alignment. And the fastest way to fall out of alignment is to desperately cling to the thing you desire, believing your happiness, peace, or self-worth depends on it arriving. When you do this, you're sending a constant signal of lack to the universe. You're broadcasting, "I don't have this yet, and I need it to feel okay." That vibration repels the very thing you're trying to attract. Here's the paradox no one talks about. The people who seem to manifest effortlessly aren't obsessed with getting what they want. They know what they desire. They feel it fully. But then they let it go. They shift their focus back to the present, to what feels good now, to the simple, quiet joy of being alive and connected. They trust. They move forward without needing proof. And in that detached, surrendered state, they become magnetic. Most manifestation teachings focus on the outer process: vision boards, scripting exercises, and affirmations. And those tools are fine. But without addressing the inner energy driving them, you'll always stay stuck in a loop. Because if your vibration is rooted in fear, need, or attachment, no amount of affirmations can override that. Your subconscious will always win. It's like trying to sail with your anchor still buried in the sand. I want you to pause for a moment and ask yourself honestly, how attached are you to the thing you're trying to manifest? How often are you checking for signs, watching for proof, or feeling anxious that it hasn't arrived yet? Every time you do, you reinforce the idea that it's missing. And the universe, being a mirror of your inner state, keeps reflecting that absence to you. This doesn't mean you shouldn't want things. Desire is natural. It's the fuel of evolution. The problem is when your desire turns into an emotional crutch, something you believe you need to be okay. That's where resistance is born. And resistance is what blocks the flow. Think about a river. When it flows naturally, it's effortless, smooth, powerful. But throw a dam in its path, and everything backs up. The water stagnates. Pressure builds. The same thing happens inside you when you grip too tightly to your desires too tightly. You block the flow of energy, of opportunities, of intuition. You cut yourself off from the very current meant to carry you toward what you seek. The truth is, manifestation happens fastest when you stop chasing and start allowing. When you learn to trust the process, even when nothing seems to be happening. When you release the need to control how and when your desires show up, it's not easy because the ego hates uncertainty. It wants guarantees. It wants timelines. But your soul knows better. It knows that what's truly meant for you can never miss you. It will perfectly find you at the perfect time, and often through channels you never could have planned. The most magnetic people aren't desperate. They aren't anxiously watching the clock. They radiate a calm, unshakable faith in their vision, paired with an unattachment to how it arrives. That combination is powerful beyond words. It tells the universe, I trust you, I trust myself, and I know that all is well, whether or not I see evidence right now. This is the biggest shift you can make in your manifestation practice, from clinging to allowing, from force to flow, from control to trust. And it starts by catching yourself in those moments of tightness when you're obsessing, doubting, chasing signs, when you feel that desperate itch to make something happen. In those moments, pause, breathe, remind yourself that your worth isn't dependent on any outcome, that you are whole, safe, and enough right now. Not someday when the money comes, not when the relationship shows up. Now. The irony is, when you release that pressure, the things you want start arriving faster. Not because the universe suddenly hears you better, but because you finally step into vibrational alignment with them. You become a match for the feeling you thought you needed the thing to give you. And when you're in that energy, you stop blocking the flow. The greatest secret is this: it's never about the thing you want. It's about who you become in the process of wanting it. The growth, the clarity, the alignment. The thing itself is just an excuse for your soul to evolve. And often, once you reach that state, the external desire either shows up effortlessly or becomes irrelevant because you've tapped into something deeper, more lasting, more real. We're taught to believe that achieving goals is what makes us happy. But lasting peace comes from within, from releasing the illusion that anything outside of you has the power to make you whole. Manifestation isn't about getting things to fill your emptiness. It's about realizing you were never empty to begin with. This is why the number one mistake that keeps people stuck is attachment, not desire, not a belief, not timing, but attachment. The belief that your happiness, safety, or worth is dependent on something outside yourself changing. And the moment you shift out of that, everything changes. You'll start noticing small signs first. Moments of synchronicity, unexpected messages. New ideas or opportunities are appearing in places you weren't looking. Not because you forced them, but because you became open to receiving. You cleared the path for life to surprise you. This is how the energy works. You attract not what you want, but what you are. And when you become the calm, trusting, aligned version of yourself that no longer needs to chase, you naturally draw in experiences that mirror that energy. It's like a cosmic echo. Your state of being is always reflected to you. It's a lesson few people are willing to learn because it means letting go of control. And in a world obsessed with certainty and instant gratification, that's terrifying. But it's also where your power lies. Let's dive deeper. What does letting go look like in real life? It doesn't mean giving up on your dreams or ignoring your desires. It means holding them with gentle curiosity instead of frantic clutching. Imagine holding a feather in your hand, soft, light, unattached, yet beautiful and worthy of attention. Desire should feel like that feather. There's no grip, no force, just a quiet tone of appreciation and anticipation. Start small. Pick one manifestation goal and lean into detachment. See when you feel that tightening inside. It could be when someone asks about your progress. You feel anxious and say, I'm manifesting a new job, with hidden tension underneath. That tension is emotional resistance. In that moment, pause, close your eyes, breathe into it. Tell yourself, it's okay, I'm safe. I don't know how this will come, but I trust it will. Feel the release. Notice the shift in your energy. Your next breakthrough may happen not because you pushed harder, but because you relaxed. You'll discover how often opportunities show up in ways you never expected. A chance conversation at the grocery store about your ideal career, a social media post that just feels right, a fleeting intuition that leads you down an unfamiliar path. These are the subtle ways the universe works, not with big, clanging signs, but quiet guidance when you're open. This process also requires self-compassion. It's normal to feel fear and doubt. Attachment isn't a bad trait, it's just human. The old patterns of anxiety and desperation won't vanish overnight. That's why it's a journey, not a destination. Celebrate each shift from grasping to allowing. Give yourself credit. I showed up. I paused. I trusted. Those are the steps that build momentum. Now, let's talk about the power of alignment practices, rituals that help you embody the energy of detachment without suppressing your desire. One effective method is appreciation journaling. Each morning, write down 3 things you appreciate in this moment. No referencing the goal of manifestation, just real-life gratitude. Feeling the fullness of life as it is primes your state of being to receive more. Another powerful tool is visualization with release. Visualize the outcome clearly. Feel the emotion as if it's here. Then imagine handing it over to the universe, like placing a lit candle outside a temple. Watch the flame go, knowing your desire is seen. Then close the book and return to your day. You can revisit the visualization, but the key is the ritual of release. Anchoring breathwork also helps. Choose a phrase. I trust the process. Breathe in slowly for a count of 4, hold for 2, exhale for 6, silently reciting the phrase during the exhale. This breath anchors your nervous system into a receptive, letting go state. It becomes a habit you tap into whenever attachment creeps in. The biggest transformation often comes not from the goal itself, but from the way you show up in your life. Without attachment, you reclaim your power, your clarity, your creativity, your peace. And that internal shift radiates out, changing your relationships, your work, and your ability to make aligned decisions. You start making choices based not on fear, but on trust, pleasure, and integrity. Let me tell you a story. A woman named Maya wanted to manifest her dream business. She spent months visualizing the brand, the clients, the revenue, everything. But she was obsessed. She checked her bank daily, stressed when nothing materialized, and felt a tight knot in her stomach every evening. I introduced her to detachment tools. She started gratitude journaling, released her visualizations daily, and practiced her breathing mantra. Within weeks, she felt the tightness dissolve. She felt grounded. And one afternoon, out of the blue, she got an email from a potential client who became her first paying customer. Not because she forced it, because she'd opened the space for it. This principle isn't about achieving or external rewards. It's about remembering who you are beyond desire. Your true value doesn't depend on a goal. It's inherent. Once you anchor into that, everything else becomes a bonus. That's why letting go is so powerful, because it reconnects you to your wholeness, not your lack. Now, as we move toward part 3, keep a question with you. What if everything you've been trying to force was already on its way, and all that was blocking it was your tight grip? What if detachment is the missing piece in the manifestation puzzle? Your practice from today until then is simple. Watch your attachment. The moment you feel it, breathe into it, release it, reconnect to the present, and trust again. That's your real work, and it's where everything starts to shift. Now, here's the uncomfortable truth. Almost no one wants to face. Most of us don't truly want the things we say we're manifesting. What we crave is the feeling that we believe those things will bring, the money. It's not about the numbers, it's about the freedom, the power to choose, and the deep exhale of security, the relationship. It's not about a perfect partner, it's about feeling loved, seen, wanted, and safe, the dream home. It's not about square footage, it's about peace, pride, and belonging. And once you realize that, everything changes. Because if it's a feeling you're after, you don't have to wait for life to hand it to you. You can create it right now, from within. That's not wishful thinking. That's resonance. Manifestation doesn't respond to hoping, forcing, or obsessing. It responds to energy, to the emotional state you practice most consistently. When you can feel confident before the opportunity, peaceful before the relationship, and abundant before the money, you collapse the distance between where you are and where you want to be. And no, it's not about faking it. It's about remembering that every state you're chasing already exists in you, so ask yourself, how would I feel if it were already mine? Would you feel light, grounded, expansive, grateful? Then practice feeling that not once, but regularly. Feel it without clinging to the outcome. This is what real detachment looks like, not giving up the desire, but releasing the grip of desperation, saying, I choose this feeling now, rather than, I need that thing to feel whole. And when you do, something opens. You stop chasing, and things begin to arrive on their own timing. You move with inspiration, not fear. You choose from alignment, not lack. That version of you, calm, whole, already tuned into the experience you desire. That's the version life begins to reflect. So let me ask you this. What feeling are you chasing? And what would shift if you stopped waiting to feel it? Let that question linger. Journal on it. Sit with it. And if this message sparked something in you, leave a comment and tell me. What are you no longer waiting for? If you're ready to keep exploring ideas like this, deep, practical, and a little uncomfortable, be sure to like this video and subscribe to the channel. Because your future isn't hiding out there in the distance. It's waiting for you to feel it here. Now.